former White House communications director Sean Spicer and the Democratic commentator Eric Guster. So, Sean Spicer, obviously Trump cannot say officially that he's running, but he gave a pretty clear indication to Farage earlier. Presumably, you think that would be a great thing for the world?
Well, look, I think that's as far as I've heard him lean in that conversation that he had with Nigel. That being said, you're right. For legal purposes, campaign finance purposes, he can't go all the way. But I think if you know anything about Donald Trump, he's going to keep his cards close to the vest because he wants to maintain that level of suspense. He wants to keep people engaged. He's got a political action committee, and obviously he wants the donations and frankly, to be that 800-pound gorilla, so to speak, as we head into the midterms where people are looking for his endorsement. So he's ensuring that he stays relevant regardless of what that decision is going to be.
And Sean, I mean, he really remains the most important figure within the Republican Party, right? There's no one who comes close to his influence.
Not at all. I've been doing this just shy of 30 years. I've never seen anybody with the grip and the hold. At one point back in the early 90s, Newt Gingrich was a huge figure, but it was mostly on the House side. And even then, it didn't last that long. I mean, you've seen Trump from both initially as a candidate, then as a president, and now as a post-president, having a level of power and hold over the party that, frankly, I've never seen with any candidate, at least in modern history. And I would argue that you could probably go back all the way through time and not see somebody, have and yield the level of power and influence that he does, especially within the primaries.
Sean, you know that there are even conservatives in this country who can't stomach the thought of a second Trump administration. Convince them. Why would it be a good thing?
Well, look, I mean, I think that I always said that the last election was style versus substance. There's a lot of people who didn't like his tweets, his style, the things that he said about people. But at the end of the day, when you look at the policies that Trump implemented, whether it was holding Iran accountable, holding other NATO countries accountable in terms of the GDP that they had that went towards defense, percentage thereof, I think that he got results. And so you can have a lot of happy talk, but does that yield the results that you want? Number one. Number two, I mean, if you look under the Biden administration, whether it's how he handled the relationship with the UK in terms of pulling out of Afghanistan, not notifying France about the nuclear deal that he had, dissing South Korea during a repatriation ceremony. I mean, I think that sometimes we always think the grass is greener on the other side.